Imagine a time when the earth was untouched by iron tools, when vast untamed lands stretched as far as the eye could see, ruled not by kings, but by spirits and ancient wisdom. Before the nations of Europe set sail for the New World, before Columbus carved his name into history, there were already people living in the Americas. But who were they? The first peoples of the Americas, often called Native Americans, have a history that stretches back tens of thousands of years, long before the arrival of Europeans. Yet, their story is rarely told in full. Who were the first true Americans? How did they shape their world? And how did their world shape them? This is a history older than most of us could ever imagine. A history filled with mystery, resilience, and the echoes of forgotten civilizations. This is the story of the Native Americans. The story of the first Americans is not just about survival. It's about discovery, adaptation, and a relationship with the land that ran deeper than mere existence. But how did it all begin? To understand their legacy, we have to journey back, far back, into a world frozen in time. The Arrival, a world before time. Over 20,000 years ago, at the height of the last ice age, the Earth looked vastly different from the world we know today. Massive glaciers stretched across much of the northern hemisphere, and in what is now Alaska, a vast land bridge connected Asia and North America. This land, now called Beringia, was a frigid expanse of tundra. This was the path that the first humans, ancestors of today's Native Americans, took as they migrated into a land that had never before seen human footprints. We call them Paleo-Indians, a name that evokes images of primitive hunters and gatherers. But were they truly primitive? Or were they the boldest explorers of their time, pushing the limits of human endurance? For thousands of years, these early peoples followed herds of mammoth, giant bison, and caribou across the land bridge into North America. Their survival depended on their ability to adapt, to learn from the land, and to master the art of tracking and hunting enormous creatures. The tools they left behind, like the famous Clovis spear points, reveal their incredible ingenuity. But the Clovis culture was more than just a hunting society. It was the first widespread culture across the Americas, spreading from the Great Plains to as far south as Mexico. Their stone tools were advanced, their knowledge of the landscape vast. Yet, despite their remarkable achievements, the Clovis people and the great beasts they hunted both vanished from the archaeological record shortly after the end of the Ice Age. What caused their disappearance? Was it climate change, overhunting, or perhaps something even more mysterious? The dawn of civilization. With the end of the Ice Age came the rise of new civilizations. As the glaciers receded, the Earth blossomed into a new era, and native peoples adapted once more. This time, by forming complex societies that would leave their mark on the landscape for millennia to come. In the Mississippi Valley, an ancient culture began to take shape. They are known today as the Mound Builders, so named for the monumental earthen structures they left behind. These mounds, some of which still stand today, were more than mere piles of dirt. They were carefully constructed to serve as platforms for temples, homes for the elite, and burial grounds for their ancestors. One of the earliest of these cultures was centered at Poverty Point in present-day Louisiana. Built around 3500 BCE, the Poverty Point civilization was a major center of trade and ceremonial activity. Imagine a society where massive earthworks were designed without the aid of modern technology, yet precisely aligned with celestial events. Their trade network stretched across vast distances, reaching from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico. And they were not alone. The Adena culture, which thrived in the Ohio River Valley, and the Hopewell culture that followed, also created monumental mounds. But these cultures weren't just architects of earth and stone. They were artists and spiritual leaders, crafting intricate jewelry, pottery, and ceremonial objects that reveal a deep connection to the spiritual world. The Hopewell people, in particular, created some of the most elaborate earthworks ever seen. Some shaped like animals, others aligned with the cycles of the moon and stars. The purpose of these mounds remains a mystery. Were they observatories for celestial events? Burial sites for the elite? Or perhaps portals to the spiritual world? Whatever their purpose, these structures speak to a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos and an unbreakable bond with the land. A complex web of nations. By the time of the European arrival, Native American cultures had developed into a rich and diverse tapestry of nations. From the towering cliffs of the Southwest to the vast plains of the Midwest, Native societies had established complex social, political, and economic systems. In the arid deserts of the American Southwest, the ancestral Puebloans, sometimes called the Anasazi, constructed vast networks of villages carved into the cliffs. These cliff dwellings, such as those found at Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon, were marvels of engineering designed to protect their inhabitants from both enemies and the harsh desert environment. They built kivas, underground ceremonial chambers, and massive trade networks that span the Southwest, exchanging turquoise, pottery, and textiles with distant peoples. In the heart of North America, along the Mississippi River, a powerful civilization was flourishing. Cahokia, located near present-day St. Louis, was a sprawling city that rivaled some of the greatest urban centers in the world at the time. At its peak, around 1100 CE, Cahokia was home to tens of thousands of people. Its massive central mound, Monk's Mound, rose to a height of over 100 feet, dominating the landscape and serving as a symbol of the city's power and influence. Cahokia was a center of trade, agriculture, and religion. Its people cultivated maize, beans, and squash, staple crops that would later spread across the Americas. But Cahokia was more than just a city. It was the heart of a cultural and political network that stretched across much of the eastern United States. Its influence can be seen in the mounds and artifacts left behind by other Mississippian cultures, from Georgia to Wisconsin. To the north, the Iroquois Confederacy, also known as the Haudenosaunee, was another example of Native American ingenuity and diplomacy. The Iroquois Confederacy was a sophisticated political alliance of 5, and later 6, nations, including the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca. Their system of governance was one of the earliest known democracies in the world, and it served as an inspiration for the framers of the United States Constitution. On the vast plains of the Midwest, tribes such as the Sioux, Cheyenne, and Comanche thrived as nomadic hunters and warriors. Their lives were closely intertwined with the buffalo, which provided them with food, clothing, and materials for shelter. With the arrival of the horse, introduced by the Spanish, Plains cultures experienced a transformation. The horse allowed them to hunt more efficiently, travel greater distances, and engage in warfare on an unprecedented scale. European contact. The arrival of Europeans in the Americas in the late 15th and early 16th centuries marked the beginning of a new and turbulent chapter in Native American history. At first, these encounters were marked by curiosity and cautious trade, but soon they would turn to conflict, colonization, and tragedy. In 1492, Christopher Columbus made his fateful voyage across the Atlantic, opening the door to European exploration and colonization of the Americas. Spanish explorers like Juan Ponce de Leon and Hernando de Soto ventured deep into Native American territories, seeking wealth, glory, and new lands for their monarchs. But with them, they brought something far more deadly than any sword: disease. Smallpox, measles, and other European diseases swept through Native American populations like wildfire, decimating entire communities. In some regions, up to 90% of the native population was wiped out within a few decades of contact. This catastrophic loss of life was the single greatest tragedy in Native American history, an invisible enemy that no warrior could fight. As European settlements grew, so did tensions with native peoples. Conflicts over land, resources, and cultural differences led to a series of bloody confrontations. In New England, King Philip's War erupted in 1675, pitting the Wampanoag and their allies against English colonists. In the South, the Spanish fought brutal wars with the powerful Apalachee and Timucua peoples. And in the West, the Pueblo Revolt of 1680 saw native peoples rise up against Spanish rule, driving the colonizers out of New Mexico for over a decade. Resistance and survival. But despite the overwhelming odds, Native Americans resisted the tide of European expansion. Throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, Native leaders emerged to defend their people's lands and way of life. Tecumseh, a Shawnee leader, sought to unite the tribes of the Ohio Valley in a grand confederacy to resist American expansion. Though his dream ultimately failed, Tecumseh's legacy as a warrior and visionary endures. However, the most devastating blow
Number 5. Native American women held significant political influence in many tribes. They often participated in decision-making councils and even held leadership positions. Number 4. They are renowned artists, excelling in pottery, basketry, beadwork, and textile arts.
Let's hear, ladies and gentlemen, dancer number 17 on the floor right now. Keep that energy up, dancers. Keep it moving. Beautiful footwork. Listen to that drum group push them along. Keep that energy up, dancers. Let's hear it for competitor number 42. Beautiful footwork out there. Beautiful style.
5. Here are 5 fascinating facts about Native American women you might not know. Many held political power, sitting on councils and even serving as leaders. They became celebrated artists, masters of basketry, pottery, beadwork, and textiles. In several tribes,
Across vast plains, forests, deserts, and rivers, native peoples lived in harmony with the land. These traditions endured, even as the world around them began to change.
Did you know who were the 5 deadliest Native American warriors in history? Number 5, Pontiac. His campaigns united many tribes and nearly forced the British from the Great Lakes. Number 4, Geronimo, a fearless guerrilla leader who struck across the Southwest against Mexican and U.S. forces.
Number 5. Native American women held significant political influence in many tribes. They often participated in decision-making councils and even held leadership positions. Number 4. They are renowned artists, excelling in pottery, basketry, beadwork, and textile arts. Number 5. Native American women held significant political influence in many tribes. They often participated in decision-making councils and even held leadership positions. Number 4. They are renowned artists, excelling in pottery, basketry, beadwork, and textile arts.